Call. We are here. I'm here with Soju. I'm here with Meow. I'm here with
progress.
All the homies. We got Slorg.
Let's go.
Let's do it. Planetary Call, the best hour of your week, medically guaranteed. Meow's a doctor. He said that that's medically true. It is the fourth time we're doing this here. The Planetary Call, March 13th, 2024. JM's in the chat for everyone who's having a good time. If you are watching over on Twitter or on YouTube, come on over to the Zoom. The chat's living live. We got Q&A and a bunch of other good stuff happening here. I will be your host for the next hour. My name is Kash Dhanda. I lead the Uplink working group, which is about to get much bigger, by the way. So prepare for some announcements on that side. I'm also the Sherpa at Super Team, and I host the Solana ecosystem call. But what I want to do first is to tell you a little bit about how this call is going to work. If it's your first one, it's only the fourth time we're doing it. It's still a bit of an experiment, folks. We're still kind of figuring some things out. As you will see, the Jupiter way, doing things live. Cash the Jupinaut says knock. Shout out to knock in the chat. Indeed, if you are here, get active in the chat. That's going to be the best way to have a good time. Make sure you stay until the end if you can, but we're here primarily to celebrate the people and the products that make Jupe great, which means we are not going to be talking about token price. We are not going to be talking about token price. And we are not going to be talking about token price. What we are going to talk about is some alpha in terms of what Jupiter's been creating. We're going to talk about some wins that have been happening and a whole lot more. If you like this call, I encourage you to do a recap thread on Twitter and earn yourself 210 Jupe. You go to earn.superteam.fun to learn more about that. Before we go any further, actually, I got to go back and unhide one slide here. This was accidentally hidden because you know we have to start the call off in style. Big credit to USR for this theme song. Give me a little LFG in the chat, folks. Big shout out to USR for putting this together. If you want to listen to this all day, every day, maybe you want to make this your alarm, it is on YouTube right now. You can go check it out over there. What'd you say there, Meow?
So good, so good.
It's too good every time. That's the kind of energy we're trying to bring to this call as well. Here's the agenda for today, folks. We're going to go through the wins of the week. We have a major product update. This call, I believe, is the first to hear. It's a genuine alpha for something that I think you guys are going to like. Then we're going to go into State of the Jupe. Meow's got some great thoughts on J4J. Do me a little J4J in the chat if you know what that's all about. And then we're going to spend the bulk of the call talking about the LFG Launchpad. Maybe you noticed, there was a bit of a vote over the weekend. 180,000 people participated, which is mind-blowing. We have Justin from Zeus. We have a bunch of other folks who are going to talk about that. Slorg will give us a little recap as well, and we're going to learn about how the launch pools work. We'll go into the partner spotlight then, hearing from MarginFi. Do we have any MarginFi mamas? Any Margin mamas in the chat? You'll have a good time over there as well. And then Catdets Corner to wrap it up.
Margin mamas.
Margin mamas. Yeah, that's what they call them, right, Edgar? I think that's the move here. Okay, cool. We're going to start off with a real quick section here, though, which is around wins of the week. Every week, you know, when we first started this call, we weren't sure that there'd be enough wins every week to kind of sustain this part of the call. But we indeed do. No surprise here. So first win of the week, Jupiter Edge is live for the power users who are trying to use the cutting edge tech. Maybe you don't know what this is just yet, but big shout out to Dickinson and Josh T. We're going to learn more about this in about 11 minutes or so. So stick around to figure out what this is. But a massive upgrade has coming. A nice, fun new product. It's going to add new value. But on the LFG side, maybe the biggest win of the week, the first LFG vote was a massive success. Who knew what was going to happen? Obviously, there was the test vote, and then there was the real vote, but I don't know how many people you expected to come out, Meow. Did you expect 180,000?
No.
No.
It's huge, yeah. It's huge. I don't think there's actually a bigger... I think 180 might actually be one of the biggest DAO votes ever, I think. You know, yeah. I think
it is. Yeah. I mean, certainly one of the biggest, and it's incredible because everyone that voted is also going to get rewarded under the active staking rewards program that Meow's going to talk to us about.
ASR.
Drop a little ASR in the chat. ASR is where it is at. And hey, that was so much fun. We might just do it again. So we have another round of introductions starting this week. Shout out to the community, the core working group, Cryptic, Slorg, Chemo, and Durden on that one. I think what was most exciting for me personally, we had 6 LFG candidates come through, and that pie was growing. Boy, every single one of these teams saw a massive increase in traction and exposure, thousands of new users. I think Zeus Network went from like 35K to 65,000 Twitter followers. Uprock gained something like 300,000 or 400,000 users. 100,000, 300,000 or 400,000 users. That's crazy. Banks, Sharky all saw upticks. Sourceful greatly expanded their community. MonkeyDex as well. And it's because the J.U.P community is active, engaged, and interested in working with new projects. So shout out to everyone on this call who checked out all of those projects. This is what the Growing the Pie is all about. LFG is here for the entire Solana ecosystem, helping bring a spotlight to some great projects. Of course, at the end of the day, there were only 2 winners. So a W in the chat here for Zeus Network as well as Sharky, the first 2 candidates for the LFG Launchpad. They're going to get a whole bunch of love from the J.U.P DAO, including support from the largest cat community in the known universe. Fully customizable launch pool support, one of the best tech teams in all of crypto, and dare I say it, in all of tech, helping them beyond Raccoons and Jupiter specifically, and much, much more. A lot of stuff is going to be happening. We're going to learn all about that in just a bit. If you're wondering the details, I got details aplenty for you, and they're coming up shortly. On that point, as far as the voting goes, of course, another massive win this week was that J.U.P for J.U.P was a success. It worked. Turns out the rewards for the first 4 months are going to be 50 million J.U.P. Launchpad fees included, so that's 7.5 billion when, more Shark and more Zeus. Passive staking is a thing of the past, folks. Passive staking can just hang out, kind of get rewarded for doing nothing. Not the way we do it in the J.U.P community. Here, it's all about ASR, active staking rewards. Everyone who voted, no matter who you voted for, didn't matter if you voted for Zeus or Sharky, or if it was Uprock or Sourceful. Anyone you voted for was going to get rewarded. So big shout out to Meow and Soju. Putting this together was no small feat. And then, it's another very exciting W here. I know a lot of the folks inside of the J.U.P community are going to be excited about this. You hear this all the time. When is so great? When are they going to have their own working group? When are they going to take advantage of the DAO? When are they going to bring the memes and the good times over to the J.U.P DAO? Well, the answer is today. Officially announcing the launch of the When working group. If you don't already know, now you know. When was the first community coin based on a fractional NFT. It was used as a test for the Jupiter Launchpad. It has taken on a massive life of its own, quite frankly. And so they're going to be contributing videos like the one you saw at the beginning of the call. And I'm thrilled to say that we actually have the second When. They've only been a working group for like a day, and they already have produced yet some more banger content. So here's the second video from the When working group to give you a taste of what kind of work they're doing. Cadets, all about the love for the ecosystem and apparently anime music and whatever else as well. Drop a little W in the chat if you're excited to see what the When working group has got cooking. They got big things coming, folks. So definitely,
I must admit, man, this is my favorite song. This is my favorite song.
Is that actually your favorite song?
It's actually my favorite song. When I'm working out in the gym, I always like Cupid.
Even before the video, you're saying this was your favorite song.
Yeah, seriously. No, it's my favorite song.
Okay. Yeah. Excellent. Cool. Well,
that's how it goes.
If you want to get
guys, remember 50-50? You know the J.U.P tokenomics thing, 50-50, right? The song the song is also 50-50. You know, the song singer is 50-50 as well.
That's where it's all getting unlocked, like Rosebud, in Citizen Kane. These calls are the secret to the Jupiter psychology. Excellent. 2 more quick wins for you before we jump forward here. First one on the community side, shout out to the Uplink working group and everyone who's putting in work over there. We crossed 1,000 subscribers on YouTube in 2 weeks, which is pretty incredible. That video you just saw from the When working group, that's going to be on YouTube. The theme song Jupiter's Universe, that's on YouTube, and so is everything else that comes out of these, including clips and full recordings of the calls. Go subscribe. These are rookie numbers, quite honestly. We're trying to amp these numbers up. Subscribe, tell your friends, tell your cousins, tell your baby mamas, tell your babysitters, tell anyone else who's in your life. Great, excellent content coming through over there. J.U.P is love is a fact. And then speaking of the Uplink working group, I'm excited to make a pretty large announcement here. We've added now 5 new creators to the Uplink working group who are going to be creating DAO-centric content all about the J.U.P ecosystem. That's Jupiter products, that's LFG candidates, that is the J.U.P DAO, and everything else around it. Big shout out to this is a ghost. Honestly, this is like a dream roster for me. We got Seb Monty, who many of you know has been a legend of the ecosystem forever, doing daily update ecosystem videos, helping on the YouTube channel. We have Gumshoe, one of the biggest brains that I know of on crypto Twitter, doing deep dive threads every week about the activity within J.U.P. We have Bangers NFT, making the kind of content that only Bangers can make. Super fun and exciting. And then we have not one, but we have 2 doctors. Tell me into this. What other working group do you know in crypto that has 2 doctors on it? Now, granted, our doctors are named Dr. Preballen and Dr. PP, but those are indeed our 2 doctors, both of whom make awesome content. Dr. Preballen is the rapper on Jupiter's Universe. Dr. PP does a bunch of great work. So I appreciate everyone on this list. Drop a little W for these creators. They're going to be bringing way more content. If you like what you've seen so far, you're going to see even more coming up. Meow, what you got?
No, what's up with like banging doctors, P balling into P? What's up with that?
Don't think too deeply about it. There's no coded messages in the working group construction.
I don't get it. Like how did this happen? You know, right? Is it deliberate or something?
Sometimes the universe just conspires to give us a little inside joke here, I suppose. Shout out.
So, you know.
I guess so. This is the kind of joy that you can expect in the J.U.P ecosystem. So again, shout out to all of these folks. Give them a warm welcome when you see them on Twitter, on YouTube, and everywhere else. Okay, I think that is it for Wins of the Week. It was a big week, as you can see, but there's even more stuff coming. I mentioned Edge earlier. Right now, I want to pass it over to one of the legends from the Jupiter team, Mr. DeFi Racer.
Yeah.
Hello. Can you guys hear me?
We can indeed. Are you able to turn your video on as well?
Sure.
Excellent. Drop a little JM in the chat for DeFi Racer, everybody.
Hello. What's up, guys? Thanks for having me on the call. Super stoked to be here. Just a quick introduction. I'm DeFi Racer. I'm one of the engineers at Jupiter. My job is to build things, and more importantly, to build things that are useful, fun, and hopefully profitable for you guys. So I worked on various products at Jupiter, but DCA is my baby. So if there is something wrong with DCA, if you have feedback, if you have problems with it, you can find me on Twitter, you can tag me, I'll be responsible for it. Or better still, just go to our Discord and go to our DCA channel and talk to me about it. I'm here today to introduce a new feature that we're about to roll out here live in this call. So congratulations to all you cadets and users here. You're the first to try it out. You're the first to hear about it and to see it. So a quick, just a quick introduction to DCA before we get to the new thing that we're launching, value average. So for those of you who are not familiar with DCA, DCA is a very simple strategy that helps you break down a larger order to buy at regular intervals or to sell at regular intervals. It's a very straightforward strategy. So for example, if you have $100,000 and you want to buy, say, Sol, or you want to buy J.U.P, right? You can use DCA to get a better price, to average out your prices and to not be affected as much by price impact. What I like most about DCA, for example, would be, let's say we're clearly in a bull market now, right? Prices have been going up hundreds of percents, thousands of percents. And let's say we get a dip of 30, 40%. It's always very hard to pull the trigger to click swap, and buy like 100,000 or 500,000 worth of Sol. It's very hard to do that because we don't know if it'll go down further or if it's going to pump next. So with DCA, I use it to help discipline myself, right? So if I see prices retracing, I would put in a DCA. And if prices do go further down, I'm fine. I'm happy because I'm getting I'm getting tokens at even better prices. So I use DCA for that. I also use DCA for taking profits, right? So if things are going crazy high, you see a lot of hype, then maybe you want to take profit, you can use DCA to do that. So for example, with Doc we've had, prices gone crazy. And I started doing a DCA out, let's say like, I can't remember exactly, but I think it was like $2.12, and then it pumped to like $20, $2.30. So I was able to capture, prices even as it goes higher up. So DCA is very straightforward. You basically break down a large order to buy at regular intervals. 100,000 10 times will be 10,000, 10,000, 10,000, and so on. What I'm here today and super hyped to share with you guys is value average. So with value average, the idea is very similar to DCA, right? You're still buying at regular intervals. The only difference is with VA or value average is that you end up buying more if prices go down, and you buy less as prices go up. So how it works, let's take a look at the next slide, the table. So I'm not going to walk through DCA. It's very straightforward. Every day you'll be spending 100. For VA, let's say you specify that you want to increase your portfolio by 100 USDC every single day. It doesn't exactly buy 100 USDC worth of that token every single day. Instead, if you notice on Tuesday at 8 a.m., prices of SOL went up 110. So you end up only spending $90, right, to buy 0.81 SOL. So as you can see, prices went up, you buy a little less. Now prices go back down on the next day to 105, and you end up spending more. You end up spending 109 US dollars to buy 1.0386 SOL. So that's roughly how value average works. This is not a new strategy per se. I haven't seen it a lot in crypto, and I was curious how well it would work. So I did a lot of back tests with value average, and it's insane. If you go to edge.jup.ag, we do have back tests, so you can back test whatever tokens you want to buy, and you can see how much you would have made. I think with WIF, for example, Doc we've had, if you started value averaging in November last year, you would have made some insane returns. You would have made like 2 million% return. So if you spend like 100, I think it was 174 US dollars, you would have made like 2 million US dollars. It's insane. It's mind blowing. Now, worst case scenario, you use value average and you started buying in at the peak of the bull market, right? I did some back test on it. Of course, it's not great. You're buying at a higher price, but you're not too bad. You're better off than say hodling. You will still be profitable today. So I'm incredibly excited for this strategy. I hope you guys like it as much as I do. If you have feedback for me, you can go to Discord, you can go to Twitter, you can look for me, DeFi Racer. Do tag me if you have discussions, feedback, or ideas. I'm happy to engage with you guys. So with that, thank you very much.
Absolutely killer. Drop a little W in the chat here for DeFi Racer, just doing the Lord's work out here, putting things together. Meow, what do you think of value average over here?
Nah, I mean, I just say that like people don't know this, but DeFi Racer is like the most intense product shipper I know, right? His brain is like always like going like, okay, what new products can I build, right? That'll be useful, right? And then and he actually also built bridge comparator. You know that really awesome thing of like you compare like different prices bringing to Solana, right? And the whole UX is awesome, right? He did that too, right? And obviously I think, and then besides on that, I think he has also a lot of like cool stuff like coming out for LFG as well. So yeah, I think just want to say that I'm incredibly fortunate to be working with these guys. And like really happy that really excited for VA as well. It's in edge.jup.ag. But in general we need more and more people on the edge, because next week besides VA, we're going to be pushing a lot more stuff on the next week, right? So try to use that. That'd be great. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Again, thanks, Josh.
I just want to take like 10 seconds. I think one of the inspirations for me for value average is because I'm so busy working at Jupiter, right? But I still want to manage my money, and that's how sort of like value average came about. And so I believe, like value average can benefit a lot of people in a similar situation, right? Like you cannot be watching the charts every single day and you want to be profitable. Value average is just so great. By the way, everything I say, please don't treat it as like financial advice.
Right.
Just do your own research, try things out, have fun. But yeah.
That's right. Not financial advice. Do not go buy $1 billion of whiff. You're going to give Soju a heart attack. But you should go try out edge.jupe.ag for all the cutting edge stuff that is being developed. Big shout out to DeFi Racer. I mean, I didn't actually know that you did all of these products. These are some of my favorite parts of using Jupiter, quite frankly. So major shout out to you, DeFi Racer. Here's a quick look at what it looks like as well. You can see this here on the screen now. You can put in your max budget. Place your order, and then you can see your active ones as usual, along with a great visualization of what your P&L would look like across your particular order flow here. So great work from DeFi Racer and from the whole J.U.P team. Go into Discord, discord.gg/J.U.P, and let us know what you think. This is one of the benefits of these calls. This is the product team building in conjunction with the community, responding to needs that you guys might have. So do check that out as well.
One last thing to add is that we are going to keep pushing new stuff to Edge. So if you want to be on the cutting edge of Jupiter's products, come to edge.jupe.ag. There's a new Discord channel now called Cutting Edge as well. Hang out with us there. The product team will be there. Give us some feedback. We'll improve. Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Fantastic. All the cutting edge, it's the sharpest website in all of crypto. Be careful what you're doing over there, folks. But some good new stuff coming. Speaking of good new stuff, I want to bring up next. He's the man, he's the myth, he's the legend. You've already heard from him here. Drop a little meow in the chat for our guy Meow. Confirmed as the Jupiter co-founder, unconfirmed as a literal cat. I don't know. Maybe he'll pop out a tail on this call.
Meow. Meow.
What's going on, Meow? What can you tell us about J.U.P for J.U.P?
Proof of cat. Meow. POC, proof of cat. Okay, anyway, so guys, I'm really excited to share with you guys what we call J.U.P for J.U.P. So I've been talking about J.U.P for a while now, right? And what is it, right? So J.U.P for J.U.P is basically our umbrella idea, right? That we want to really get J.U.P in the hands of people who are involved in J.U.P, right? Either involved in using J.U.P, involved in voting for J.U.P, involved in participating in J.U.P, involved in contributing for J.U.P, right? Because ultimately, right, what would make J.U.P a really strong project, right, is not having a lot of J.U.P cold storage, right? Right? It's not. It really is not, right? I think what will really make J.U.P a really strong project in the long run is if we really work really hard on strategy. The keyword is strategically, right? Getting J.U.P in the hands of people who really care about J.U.P, particularly early on, right? So that's actually the idea of J.U.P for J.U.P, right? I think it's funny because I think very early on in the whole, even right after Breakpoint, right? We talked about it a fair bit. We talked about the idea of J.U.P being a really important strategic asset, right? That stands for something, right? That stands for DeFi 2.0. That stands for financial freedom for the world. That stands for the mass adoption of crypto, right? And question is that how do we kind of and the J.U.P for J.U.P idea came up really early, right? I mean, for some of you who are in the Discord very early on, right? You guys will kind of remember even right after Breakpoint, we're talking about J.U.P for J.U.P, right? And the idea really started forming, right? That we really want to have really good processors, right? And really good community-driven processors to, again, get J.U.P in the hands of people who love J.U.P the most, right? So that's the core idea of J.U.P for J.U.P, right? And then you can see that in action, for example, in the airdrop, right? We spent who was there in the whole crazy airdrop consultation phase? Who was there, right? Just quick show of hands. Who was there, right? You guys will see how much crazy effort, right, put into the airdrop process, right? And then so that was actually a good catch as well, right? May was insane. May spent so much fucking time, insane amount of effort going through every single fucking decade, right? Around hey, quick shout out to May, man. May is amazing, right? So I think all that is we also did the no cats left behind thing, right? I think meow. So I think all that was actually a big part of the effort to kind of get J.U.P into our earliest users, right? So that's the effort of that. So I think and then an extension for that is the active staking rewards, right? Basically, instead of just guys, we actually thought very hard about this, okay? Because there are obviously X number of ways to do staking, right? And then obviously many people have done staking before and stuff, right? But we didn't really appreciate. I think what was missing for us, right, was that it didn't really fit the J.U.P for J.U.P quality for me, right? Like, because it didn't really kind of like, like basically I think it wasn't a thing whereby like, you had to actively do something, right, to get it, right? So for us, the question is like, what is a good balance or effort, right? You know what I mean, right? In some sense, you don't really want someone kind of like to do like a fuck ton and get a little bit, right? So you kind of want to have a system by the effort like corresponded, right? With the voting, right? So I think a big part of that is kind of how we, so I think a big part of Jup for Jup is around like how do we kind of like very strategically kind of like provide Jup like get Jup in the hands of people who vote for Jup, with Jupiter, who use Jupiter, who contribute to Jupiter, right? Whether it's the and so on and so forth, right? And also the other big part about Jup for Jup is that okay guys, okay, this is crazy, okay? But here's talking about some stupid stuff, okay? It's really fucking stupid, okay? So work with me, okay? I believe that the universe is expansionary, okay? It's like you guys know the universe expands, right? It doesn't constrict, right? So the universe is fundamentally expansionary, right? So basically the universe rewards growth, right? So I think and Jupiter is it's a universe, you know what I'm saying? Part of the universe, right? I think what's actually really important here is that we do not fall into the trap of being conservative because we are still extremely early, okay, in our Jupiter journey, right? And then we need to grow, okay? And Jup is actually an incredibly powerful asset for us to grow, right? Obviously, and because it's a powerful asset, obviously we won't throw it away, we won't waste it, right? I think we have been extremely clean and clear about how we use every single cent of Jup. At the same time, I think we need to actually, be able, precisely, the universe is expanding at the speed of light, right? So we will actually, I will actually personally push, right, aggressively, right? But I hope strategically, right, for ways to kind of like use Jup to grow the ecosystem. Okay, yeah. So that's what I do. Okay, so that's what Jup for Jup means, right? It means like getting how we again. I'm going to repeat myself many times, right? Just so everyone gets it, right? Jup for Jup means that we get Jup in the hands of people who vote, people who use Jup, right? People who help Jup, people who contribute to Jup, and just as importantly, new users to come into Jup, right? Because the value of Jupiter as a project, right, really manifests when we start growing, right? The moment we stop growing and stuff, the value is kept, right? So that's it, Jup for Jup, right? And then we're going to see many. I think hopefully over the next 1 year, we're going to see many efforts there. Yeah, that's
absolutely. That's what I love.
And that's one first step. Yeah.
Absolutely. This is what I love about crypto, folks. This is what decentralization looks like, rewarding those who contribute value to the network with ownership of the network in the form of Jup, giving out that Jup for Jup. As Meow said, it's a big Jup treasury, as they say. A ship is safe in harbor, but that is not what a ship is made for, and the same is true for Jup. It is here to help kind of catalyze the community going forward. Drop a little J4J in the chat.
We have a joke here, guys. Sorry, I understand something. We have an opportunity here, right? Like Jupiter is actually in an incredibly unique position today, right? We are the most used trading protocol, right? Solana is like the ecosystem is booming right now, right? We have probably the best community, right? We have a really unique chance, right, to really bring forth the next, like really grow a very strong core and bring the next millions of users in, right? We are still very tiny today, right? And how do we use Jup as an asset to achieve that, right? That's my challenge for myself and for all of you guys. Let's do it. Yeah.
Put it to
Sorry,
work.
Cash. I just had to say that.
No, it's an important message. It's an important message. There's no chance that people listen to the call. You listen to Meow's vision. The ambition is real, folks, and we are going to get there. One of the key tools to get there, of course, is the LFG Launchpad, which allows us to grow the pie by helping shine a light on other projects in the ecosystem, launch their tokens to the Jup community and beyond. To tell us a little bit about how the LFG Launchpad works, I want to invite our dear friend, the village idiot and high schooler, the Jupiter intern, up here to tell us a little bit about how the launch pool models are going to work. Folks, this is going to be their first time kind of speaking to an audience of this size. So let's give them a nice little jam in the chat to welcome them on stage. Village Idiot, are you here?
Hello everyone. Hello.
How's it going?
Hello, I'm Joshua, also known as Village Idiot on Twitter. I am a high school intern at Jupiter, and I just joined like December.
Throwing you in the deep
So-
end, basically right away. Here on the Planetary Call, talking to hundreds and thousands of people. What can you tell us, Joshua, about how the LFG launch pool model works?
So currently there are some launch pool models, but current launch pool models are very rigid and sort of assumes a one-size-fits-all model. So our launch pool model aims to give projects flexibility and allow them to decide on how they want to distribute their liquidity, depending on their strategy. So our launch pool utilizes Meteor's DLMM pools that allows to create customizable launch pools. Yeah.
What can you tell us about how the price curve mechanics work here?
So our launch pool uses a price curve which describes how the price changes as more tokens are purchased from the pool. So as you can see from the graph here, it's a bit small, but you can see that, as the price, as more tokens are purchased or withdrawn from the pool, your price will increase. So this is a example of the price curve. Yeah, from when. If you scroll down, that's the price curve for when. So
Super cool. And people can
projects
play
can make
around with
custom
this
curves.
themselves as well.
Yeah, you can go to lfg.jup.ag/design to play around. So our projects can make custom curves based on their current market expectations, the amount they want to raise, and the demand for the token. So projects can customize their own curve by changing the 4 parameters that are used to create the curve. And you can check it out. Yeah, check out the website at lfg.jup.ag/design. So our price curve uses this formula. It looks a bit scary because there's a lot of variables in it. But it basically describes the relationship between P and C, basically P being the price and C being the number of tokens that have been withdrawn from the pool. So you have other variables such as initial price, max price, total number of tokens in the pool. But the most interesting of these variables is K, which is, if you can see, is the exponent. So we have 2 examples here, one with different K values. The first example with K equals 0.3, and this is a steep early curve, which is meant to discourage botting as the price increases very fast at the start. And so that is the aggressively anti-bot. And you have a second example with K equals 2.5, which is a much flatter early curve that allows for much more botting as there is much more liquidity at the start. So bots can actually get a lot more of the early liquidity at lower prices. So projects customize this curve based on their needs. So from the price curve, we can derive a liquidity distribution graph, which is basically how your liquidity is distributed over your price range. So we can calculate this from using the inverse of the derivative of the price curve. And from this example, we can see there is much more liquidity at higher prices towards the right compared from the start, where at low prices where there's less liquidity. So so this is actually the liquidity distribution for when. So in the DL, we can use the liquidity distribution to create the DLMM bins, which shows how much tokens are in each bin. So each bin is calculated by multiplying the number of tokens in each bin and the price of the token in the bin. And we can use the liquidity distribution graph to create this model. So you can see actually there are many individual bins, although they are quite small, so it's a bit hard to see, but you can actually see that in the DLMM, there's actually many bins at different prices with their own individual prices. So one of the main reasons projects launch on Jupiter LFG is to secure liquidity, stable liquidity, such as USDC. And we can calculate this by using the integral of the price curve. So projects can then find out how much they can raise given a certain price is hit or a certain amount of tokens have been withdrawn from the pool. So we can put this data on a price, we can put this in a table, which allows project to estimate how much they can expect to raise. So this is the price and token table for when, and yeah, so projects can use this to see how much they can raise. Yeah. So in summary, our price curve can be used to generate the liquidity distribution graph, which then can be used to generate a model of the DLMM bins. And our price curve can also be integrated to estimate the amount of funds that can be raised. So yeah, so some of my future plans for the going forward is to create a new price curve model that utilizes monotone cubic Hermite interpolation to create a custom price curve which give projects more flexibility.
Incredible. Folks, this is Joshua's first time talking about this. He gave him the hardest shit to talk
The
about.
art of throwing random words in there to pump the price.
Yeah, I've never heard of a monotone cubic Hermite interpolation algorithm in my life.
That's a token, man. That's a token. Right?
Can I get a little bullish on Joshua in the chat? This is just crazy. I don't know what you were doing in high school, but I assure you, I was not talking to thousands of degens around the world about how price curves in the LFG launch pool work. Excellent job, my friend. Ultimately, hopefully what you're able to get, this is that inside look, right? Where you can understand kind of the thinking behind why these mechanisms are designed the way they are. And the great thing is, as with most things Jupiter, you can actually play around with it yourself at lfg.jup.ag/design.
Over here is where I want to really encourage everyone, right? To so the projects are going to propose a model, right? Whether it's Zeus or whether it's Shaki or any other project, or even the permissionless launchpad things, they're going to propose a model, right? So what's actually really cool here is that you could actually give them feedback, right? You can be like, hey, you can actually see like assuming the price is a point, how much money is raised. You can see the exact curve, how fast they're going to go, how steep and stuff, right? So in some sense, actually, even for us, right? Just and Cash, you remember me saying this. Even for the J.U.P launch, and we did that, right? We actually shared the link with the community, and the community gave us feedback, right? You know, it was really good feedback. We actually made some like last minute adjustments based on community giving us feedback, right? You know, right? So I think that's actually the power here, right? Is that guys, the power here is actually that like it's actually totally transparent market making, right?
Yes.
You put it there on chain, right? You can see exactly everything. So everyone starts off with the exact same like information, right? And the exact same everything, right? So I feel like so I think the hope here is like and certainly for us and stuff like this graph here, self design, was actually extremely useful, right? Because it allowed us to like input several like very simple and intuitive parameters, right? And it just generated everything, right? You know, the price, the raising table and everything and stuff, right? Yeah. So for us, it was actually very helpful, right? You know, and I'm hopeful that it'll be helpful for like projects as well. And importantly for everyone in the call here, I'm also hopeful that it'll be helpful for you too, right? You know, to kind of understand how a highly customized liquidity curve will work. Yeah. So yeah, that's it.
Absolutely. So not only is this to help educate just for your own edification, but also so that you can make better decisions with future LFG Launchpad candidates. And if you're a builder out there, this is just yet another reason to try to get onto the LFG Launchpad for something that can be fully customized to your needs, taking a lot of those dark room dealings, putting out in public so people can give you feedback and help you improve as well. So thanks again to Joshua for coming out here. What I want to do next is welcome. Oh, please. Yeah, go ahead.
No, just to say that it's actually not really dark room dealings. I think a lot of these things are just like they just not understood, right? Just not understood, right? You know. So I think by putting the model out here that everyone can play with and everyone can do stuff, right? It's also big shout out to Joshua, right? Because I think he really understood the goal, right? Of creating an extremely. By the way, guys, it's not just the site. There's also a forum post as well, and Joshua is also going to publish a paper as well, a full paper on this as well, right? You know, so everyone can kind of read everything in detail. Okay, yeah. So I think so it really is just the idea here is to really make this thing as understandable as possible, right? You know, so everyone can be involved in it, you know, right? So I think because again, DeFi education is really important for us. And yeah, you know, things like that. And yeah, so feel free to ask us any questions, man. The whole everything is in Discord, on the forum, you know, and just ask us anything, you know. Yeah. Anyways, yeah. So thanks Joshua for being so brave and coming on the show, right? You know, yeah. Thank you so much, Josh. Thank you.
That's right, a little W for Joshua. If you have some questions right now, you can pop them into the Q&A, and maybe some team members can handle it. But if not, go over to the Discord. You'll get everything you need to know over there. I saw some requests to tokenize Joshua as well. So heads up, Joshua, you might have a meme coin coming your way. Not financial advice. But speaking of tokens that are coming your way, what I want to do next is welcome the first ever winner of the vote from the J.U.P DAO for the LFG Launchpad. We have the founder of the Zeus network with us here right now. Justin, my friend, how are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm busy, you know.
So busy. Absolutely, my friend. Can we get a little JM in the chat for Justin from Zeus Network? So first ever winner, pretty commanding victory in terms of the vote share that came over to Zeus Network. I think a lot of people on the call maybe have heard a little bit about Zeus Network, but can you tell them a bit more about who you are, what you're building, and what the plans might be for the near future?
Yeah, I think it's simple. Zeus Network as a first communication layer cross-chain that's using Solana Virtual Machine SVN to utilize Zeus nodes to empower our communication layers in between Bitcoin and Solana. And Bitcoin is just a start. You know, we are ambitious, you know, also want to look forward to new opportunities to integrate more blockchains using Solana Virtual Machine to validate all these input-output external blockchains.
Yeah. Pretty excellent. Bringing the world over to Solana. Can you tell the people a bit more about how the Zeus token is going to function? I know we made a little interview video about this, but as my friend Akshay BD says, repetition never spoils the prayer. How does the Zeus network token work, and why should people be excited about it?
Yeah, for sure. You know, we are going to announce a full documentations on Zeus token utilities in just, you know, a couple of days before Launchpads. But there are a few things that communities or Olympians should be aware that, you know, Zeus nodes are going to be powered by Zeus tokens. So in order to run a node, you need Zeus tokens, obviously. And with Zeus nodes, you can earn a couple of fees from the communication there. First, you can earn native BTC. That's the first fees that you can earn. Whatever Bitcoin that's being communicated over to Solana, you get a portion of that. Second is the performance fee that is being generated by all these different dApps building around Zeus there as an ecosystem. Third, but most important part is that you could potentially earn more Zeus tokens by providing a constructive security structures for the entire Zeus nodes layers. So that just on the security aspects. And let's not forget, right? Zeus is a layer. Zeus is a layer 1.52 for Solana for every external blockchains. That there are going to be multiple dApps building on top of ecosystems. And when there is a new dApp having new tokens, there will be new airdrops, and potentially airdrop would all airdropping to the Zeus token holders. But the most important part for Zeus token utility is that you could potentially run Zeus nodes and get more airdrops and leverage external blockchains ecosystems. You know, we are also preparing to work with multiple layer 2 on Bitcoins, ensuring that all these new projects are building on top of layer 2 on Bitcoins. Zeus token holder could potentially get airdrops or potentially get perks out of all these external blockchains that are now happening on Solana side. But our job as a communication layers, Zeus network, is to ensure that all these blockchains are going to be working seamlessly, making sure that are interchangeably communicating or interacting one with the other. So if you're holding Zeus tokens, you're also going to be ensured that whatever blockchain external blockchain that we have integrated with, you are also going to be getting perks out of it as well. So prepare and embrace the external blockchains. Yeah.
That's great. And as Meow said in the chat, I think it's Zeus in Greek mythology and Jupiter in Roman mythology, the same Greek god. So clearly the universe, again, conspiring here to put some good teams together. Do you have a sense yet? I know you're still kind of in conversation with some folks. Do we have a sense of when the token launch might happen on the LFG Launchpad?
We are leaning toward the first week of April, which is 2 weeks from now, pretty much. And the dates we're going to be finalizing with Jupiter's obviously on this side, and we're still waiting for a few tips, a few final touches on the details on our tokenomics and token utilities. I think the most important part is that I think we're making history at this point, right? Like us as the biggest project hosting the biggest launch pad, and then Zeus, we have a pleasures and honor to be the first project. I think it just shows that having 62% of the votes out of all these votes, it shows that there's a strong demand interest from the retails, also from the communities, that we really think that in order for Solana to surpass Ethereum's, Bitcoin's is going to be one of the important metrics out there. We are about 48 billion shorts on the TVLs. All we have to do is onboarding 5,000, 10,000 Bitcoins over to Solana. Why can't we do it? If WBTC failed it,
Fun go.
Let's go. Folks, I got to say, I first met Justin maybe, what was it now, like 2.5 years ago on a panel at Breakpoint. He's been a longtime community builder in Taiwan. He's been just an advocate for the ecosystem for a while, and it's great to see this new project of his taking off and getting the community adoption that it has. Justin, where can people learn more about Zeus? Where should they go to get more involved?
Well, obviously there is a website, documentations. We're also going to be coming out with a series of educational materials, like facilitating understanding what is cross-chain, right? And I'm pretty sure a lot of you are hype about cross-chains. This is what I envisioned as a founder. Back in 2019 with DeFi summers, all these blockchains are having their DeFi protocols. But what I envision as a founder in this cycle is that we're going to see more cross-chain products leveraging both internal and external blockchains working together interchangeably. I think Anatoly said about this 3 weeks ago, is that Solana could be the ultimate layer 2 for all the insufficient blockchain out there. When I say insufficient blockchains, I mean about the blockchain that doesn't have a smart contract with virtual machine to run all these steps on top of it. So if Solana is going to be ultimate layer 2 for all these insufficient blockchains, we need a communication there. It's like a plugin, it's like adapters, right? You plug into the external blockchains, connecting your Solana virtual machine, using Solana to validate all these transaction input and output. Isn't that fascinating? I think what we're seeing right now is witnessing history, both working with Jupiter's. I think Solana just getting started. We have to be excited and looking forward to the future that we're going to be building here.
Likewise, my friend. Likewise, I think this is big for Solana. It's big for the whole crypto ecosystem, bringing folks together. Drop a little W in the chat here for Justin. Go to zeusnetwork.xyz and learn more about them as they get ready for the Launchpad in 2 weeks. Speaking of the Launchpad and the voting process, I want to bring up on stage next one of the members of the core working group. He's everyone's favorite slug. Which is perhaps not a giant sample set, but he's certainly my favorite slug. Please drop a little JM in the chat for Slorg of the Slugs.
Hey, Kash, thanks for having me this week. I always love the energy of these things, and there's really nothing I can think of that kind of exists quite like this format in Web3. So
it's a pleasure to have you on, my friend. Your energy absolutely contributes to it as well. I think Meow wanted to say something as well, real quick on
So
Zeus.
guys, I'm sorry to interrupt here, but I got to go for a meeting real quick and super late. But Slorg, I love you, firstly, and then we all love you. And one thing I'll share before I go on real quick is that just want to say congrats to Justin for winning the vote, and really big thanks for participating and for everything. And then one thing that you can see in all the chats that you see as a deppy thing, right? So actually, Justin has been actually one of the OG devs of Solana, right? Has been actually working on Solana for a long as time, right? So I think I'll leave him to tell you a story in a separate session next time. But I just want to say a big shout out to Justin, for always being there, always hustling, always working super hard. You know what I'm saying? And really happy to be here with you, and working on this. Yeah, thanks, bro.
Yeah. Thanks. Let's get it. Let's get it started. Yep.
Let's get it, man. All right, Slorg, back to you. Sorry. See you. Bye.
Big things coming over on that side. So Slorg, as a member of the core working group, obviously you helped design the process around the voting. I know that the community would love to hear kind of your take on how it went and where we kind of go from here.
Yeah, so just to give a bit of a retrospective on the process, because as useful as it is to look forward to things, it's also useful to look back at what happened. So over 180,000 people participated in this. And of course, some of those are duplicate wallets just because some people partially voted for more than one candidate. But overall, there really was no strong incentive to Sybil anything. And the reason for that is because you get the same rewards no matter who you vote for. So really, splitting up your vote to vote for two, that was just a matter of preference. And I don't think too many people did it. Most people voted for one. So we can assume that that number is approximately correct, I think. The rewards, they're only based on voting power. And this is a very common question that we've been getting. And I can't give a dollar amount to how much you'd receive exactly, but I can say that it is linear. So if you have 1,000 J.U.P and you voted with that 1,000 J.U.P, you'll get twice the rewards of someone who voted with 500 or half of those rewards of someone who voted with 2,000 J.U.P. All 6 of the projects that were voted upon benefited substantially, not just in terms of exposure, but also in terms of refining their messaging. And just to give you some stats and examples, Uprock gained a few 100,000 new users to their platform in the weeks after being introduced. Both Sharky and Zeus gained more than 30,000 Twitter followers each in the last 30 days. Every project benefited from the refining of their messaging due to the thorough AMAs, both the ones you gave and the ones Chemo and I gave. And even more intimately, certain projects were able to troubleshoot some pain points. I've had some sidebar conversations with a couple of them where I was able to give them crucial feedback based on some of the answers in their AMAs. So overall, this was a tremendous benefit for all 6 of them, not just the 2 that got voted to launch. Tomorrow, we're going to start resuming the process with new introductions at the core working group town hall tomorrow. You can check the events tab in the Discord to see what time, what local time that is for you. I think there's about 650 signups for that so far. And just before we dive into that, I wanted to give a recap of the core process, just for any projects that might be interested in applying for this next round. So initially, the project makes a post on the J.U.P research forum, and there's a rough template. It asks a few questions about your vision and about logistics and things like that. Then there's a subset of those that are selected by the core working group to be introduced to the community via the Discord forum. And this is based on criteria like community sentiment, TGE date. There was a couple contenders who we would have chosen last time, but their TGE date wasn't anytime soon. Legitimate forum activity. And what I mean by legitimate is not just people saying good project, great project, but actual real participation in the forum process. And of course, vision. What's your vision for your product or platform? After that, candidates are given multiple AMAs, one by you, one by me and Chemo, and other opportunities to explore their product or platform and vision for the future with the Jupiter DAO. And 24 hours beforehand, we might kick this back in future ones, but 24 hours beforehand, all the information is compiled together along with a tokenomics breakdown, and the DAO selects their preferred candidate. And of those 6, I think it can host up to 10, if I remember correctly. 2 of those are selected. So although I would say that the first process was a massive success across multiple metrics, from things like project satisfaction to community participation, there's still a couple things that we need to figure out. And I'll just give you a couple examples of these. So how do we handle the ones that didn't launch? So of course we all know Zeus and Sharky, they were voted upon by the DAO, but what about the 4 that didn't? Do any of those get to the next round automatically? Do they have to start over again? What happens in the case that there aren't 6 viable candidates like there were this time? What if there's only a couple viable candidates? Do we still have the round? Do we kick it to the next month? How do we reintroduce these candidates that already went through the process? So like Sourceful and Uprock, if we were to reintroduce them again, do we have to give them a full thorough AMA again? Do we let them briefly readdress the audience? Because we want to make things fair for them and make sure they get adequate exposure as well. And finally, and this is what we're going to sort of flesh out tomorrow, were there any parts that the DAO didn't like or felt that could be improved? And I know there's a couple people in the Cats of Culture chat and couple people in the Catdets chat who felt like maybe there were a couple things that could be improved. So we're going to hear them out tomorrow at the working group town hall.
Excellent. Cool. Folks, I think that the entire J.U.P community is very lucky to have Slorg of the Slugs, one of my favorite Twitter follows. Go check out Soul Incinerator. Go check out Lighthouse Protocol. Go check out the Radiance DAO. We're all lucky to have him. Deeply committed. I know him, Cryptic, and Durden, and Chemo are all working hard. You can go chat to all of them directly. They are eager to get your feedback over in Discord tomorrow. Slorg, do you know what time that town hall is going to be?
Yes, it's going to be 8:30 p.m. Mountain or 10:30 p.m. Eastern. So you can just check at the tab at the top of the Discord and it'll tell you your local time, what time it is.
Excellent. Highly encourage everyone on this call to go check out that town hall. A bunch of great thoughts are going to be happening there. And the only way that the LFG Launchpad continues to get better is with that community input. So we really want to make sure that this is a full community effort rather than only the core working group. So looking forward to your feedback at the town hall tomorrow at 10:30. Excuse me. So excited I can barely speak, folks. At the town hall tomorrow in Discord at 10:30 p.m. EST. All right, folks, I know we're running out of time here, but I promise you're not going to want to go anywhere because we got 2 more sections to go through. The first one here is the partner spotlight. As many of you know, the Jupiter ecosystem is much larger than just the Jupiter protocol and the various products. It only works if the rest of DeFi is able to benefit from it as well. And here we have the Margin Mama himself, Edgar, the co-founder of MarginFi, to talk a little bit about his protocol. Edgar, how you doing, my friend?
Dude, absolutely insane energy on the call. I love it. I haven't had my coffee yet for the morning. I'm just waking up, and now I don't need it because the cat videos at the beginning got me going. Hey guys, so I'm Edgar. I'm the creator of MarginFi, which is a liquidity layer on Solana. We're super excited to be here. I'm going to tell you a little bit about MarginFi, kind of what we do, how you should think about us when you're navigating the Solana ecosystem, and I'm going to talk about how we use Jupiter because we're big partners. You guys see Jupiter as an app, as an experience, right? We see Jupiter as a really powerful infrastructure to make our app better, right? And hopefully a lot of other apps in the Solana ecosystem. So, I'll kind of go through that, and then Kash, if you got any questions for me or anything like that, we can go through those. How does that sound?
It sounds great. My first question for you is, can you throw on your video, or are you also shirtless like Mac Brennan typically is?
I am wearing a shirt here. I can turn on my video. I'm hanging out with my dog, actually. Here, let's see.
Brave move, bringing a dog onto the Jupiter call here.
I know. I didn't want you guys to be mad at me. This is Avalanche. She loves cats though. We're actually gonna get a cat. She doesn't know it yet. We're gonna get a cat for her. And this is her first Jupiter call as well, so she's super excited to listen in. So we'll hang out. I'll turn my video off for just in case I'm rolling around a little bit too much with her, but just wanted to say hi. Cool. Yeah. So what's MarginFi, right? If you think about Jupiter as like the best way to swap your tokens, right? You want to do something with your tokens, you need to change them out. Jupiter's the place to go. We want MarginFi to be the best place to keep your tokens while they're just sitting and hanging out, right? MarginFi is your home for spot assets. It's an account where you can constantly earn money on your money, right? Keep your tokens in there, lend them out, let people borrow them, right? That all happens seamlessly for you under the hood. And while they're hanging out, right, you're earning a little bit of yield on them, whether it's Solana or USDC or J.U.P or GLP, right, or any of the long tail meme coins that have been blowing up lately. It's an awesome place to park your capital. We use Jupiter actually a bunch of ways through the MarginFi app experience. If you've played with MarginFi at all, you've almost certainly used Jupiter under the hood, which is really cool. And that's because Jupiter makes it really easy to swap tokens, right? And when you think about it, swapping tokens is something that we do in DeFi all the time, right? Anytime let's say you're holding some like USDC and you want to buy an NFT on Tensor or something, right? And you need to buy it in Solana, all of a sudden you need to buy Solana. You need to make a swap, right? Or if you're looking to pick up more J.U.P and you've got a bunch of Solana, you need to make that swap, right? When you're lending and borrowing, there's a lot of tokens in the mix. And oftentimes, similar to J.U.P's routing, right, there's a number of steps you kind of need to take to get to, a position that you want, right? Maybe, you've lent out a bunch of Solana and you've borrowed a bunch of USDC or something like that. And you need to pay back your USDC before you get your Solana back. And you've borrowed your USDC, you've bought an NFT, you don't want to sell that NFT. All of a sudden it's like super confusing and there's like all these lots of steps. So what we do is we use Jupiter under MarginFi to make magical experiences that make it super, super easy to navigate through our app. And there are like hidden swaps that happen under the MarginFi app powered by Jupiter. Obviously, they're not hidden on the blockchain, but they make things really easy and seamless. So we've really been enjoying using Jupiter. We've got the Jupiter swap widget in the app. If you want to swap directly on Jupiter, kind of the way that you're used to in the Jupiter app, you can do that on MarginFi as well, just to make it more convenient. And yeah, we're super excited about the DCA feature, the value average feature that Jupiter's shipping. I'm a personal user of all of that, right? So I'm on Jupiter. I'm a daily active user of Jupiter. Super excited to kind of see how the platform evolves.
Fantastic. Yeah, folks. I mean, obviously, you should do your own research here, but I'll tell you, I use MarginFi myself. I think it works excellently, and it's awesome to hear all the top dApps on Solana DeFi are using Jupiter as well. Obviously, it's a big month for Margin. Edgar, what can you tell us about what's going on for you guys here in March?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, one of the first exciting thing that we're thinking about is the V3 expansion. MarginFi is always building new products. We're shipping new features. We have a yield-bearing stable coin coming out, which is super, super exciting. It's called YBX. And it's going to let you earn the Solana staking yield that you get when you're holding like an LST, let's say, but while you're holding a stable asset, right? So think of it as like USDC plus yield, which is super cool. We released a detailed technical paper with a bunch of jargon a couple weeks ago. If you want to like get into the technical architecture, it walks through the implementation approach and how we're actually building it. And we're going to be talking a lot more about it in the next few weeks. So that's, obviously coming up. That's something I'm super excited about. And then we're thinking a lot about MarginFi governance and, pushing decentralization and evolving into a DAO, which I think, is top of mind for me. It's something we've been working on a lot over the last couple of months, and definitely something that I think, you guys should keep your eyes out for developments on in the next few weeks to months. So yeah, a lot going on. I'm not sleeping a lot.
Well, The nature of those updates, too hot. They actually broke my webcam, so I'm now here on my phone for folks at home. But yeah, I think we need all the innovation we can get in the stablecoin space. We're very excited to see what YBX is going to be able to do, along with all the other great products that you guys are doing. Folks, we're running a little bit late on time, so we'll have to just drop a little M in the chat for Edgar and for MarginFi, pushing forward Solana DeFi and using Jupiter to do it. We love to see it. Thanks for coming out, Edgar.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Cheers, brother. Folks, last section before we go, one of the fan favorites. This is now the Cadets Corner. In the Cadets Corner, we hear from community voices, people who are doing great things. And I want to welcome to the stage right now the Small Cat to speak. Do we have the Small Cat over on the stage yet? May, do we have Small Cat here? Oh, I see. Is that Zephyr? I don't know if Zephyr is small. Oh, there's Small Cat in the audience. Let's have Small Cat come on up here. Boom. There we go. Small Cat is quite literally a small cat with pizza. We'll give him a second to rejoin here. There we go. Small Cat, can you hear me now?
Hey everyone, can you hear me?
Loud and clear, my friend. Tell me, what makes you a great cadet and what do you like about this community of ours?
So hello everyone, I'm a new member, new cadet with you. So today I'd like to discuss with you about positivity. Why staying positive is crucial for us as a cadet. So dealing with different people and their problems means I need to be patient and understanding. It's about staying calm even when things get tough. Understanding members how they feel, if we can say that. So along with being patient helps me, communicate better and solve every conflict. And it should be, I think, for every cadet take those quality for him. So when I'm passionate and empathetic, I'm showing what our community values. I genuinely want everyone to feel welcome. Welcome and included by listening and respecting how others feel. So yeah, I can handle problems kindly and guide conversation in the helpful direction. And yeah, I think as a cadet, I think maintaining a positive attitude, practicing passion and showing empathy are not only essential for resolving conflicts, but also for fostering a supportive and inclusive community environment. So I think it's I think empathy and passion are the both are the quality that every cadet should have.
Absolutely here. Folks, drop a little small in the chat. Saluting the cadet. Small Cat talking about the key values of a good cadet. If you want to join the Cadet Corps, if you want to get involved in the cadet working group and so on, have that patience, have that positivity, have that empathy. Good things will come to you as a result. Small Cat, exactly. Well said, well articulated and distilled. Anything else you want to say to the people at home here?
No, stay positive and just keep supporting Jupiter. We have a great community. We are welcoming everyone. So yeah, keep it positive, and we are just we just keep growing.
We keep it growing. There we go. Thank you so much, Small Cat, for coming out. An essential message for us all to hear. And folks, I know we went a little long today. Hopefully you found it as valuable and fun as I did. I know there's nowhere else I'd rather be. The call too good broke my camera. So if you're watching on Twitter, I hope that my face is not stuck in a very ugly position Hopefully on Zoom people can see me all right. But it is time, as Meow is saying, to hit the road. So we are going to say thank you so much for joining. Go follow Jupiter Exchange on Twitter. Join the Discord. Come to that town hall tomorrow. And please, for my sake, if you enjoyed this call, do me a small favor. Go subscribe to the YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/Jup-ecosystem. We'll play ourselves out here with the Jupiter's Universe song. There's no POAP today, unfortunately, due to some technical errors, but we'll be back next week at the same time, same place, working POAP, and even more alpha to share. So you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here, folks. Jupiter's Universe as people start to head out. Thank you all for coming.
But eat my first to the cat that am I cool enough? No problem, I'm still moving up. That's the money bro, while sitting at the computer and yeah. Mission moves along, gonna make it easy for them all to come get involved. Station has been going up, volume is my middle name, still see me in that old book. You learn to trade the page to make them start cook, but still I swear I'm always chasing them. Don't blow it up. Jupiter, but not the universe. Need to loosen up, but eat my first to the cat that am I cool enough? No problem, I'm still moving up. That's the money bro, while sitting at the computer and yeah. Mission moves along, gonna make it easy for them all to come get involved.
There we go, folks. That's all for the Planetary Call. Fairs, as I'm calling it, singing it. I sing it in the shower. I sing it when I wake up. I say, mission moves along. Can't sing it actually for shit. I sing that all day, basically every day. I love this song. Unfortunately, folks, like I said, no POAP this time around due to some technical difficulties with some of our service providers here. But we will be back full strength, full energy next week. Thank you all for coming out. Shout out to all the speakers for coming out as well. And we'll